This victory is significant for a few reasons. First of all, we have to understand that each city that has been captured by Russia is no more. It's been fully destroyed from the ground and also using cruise missiles. So just when we hear the news that another city has fallen to the Russian occupants, we have to understand that that is one more examples of Russia's scorched earth policy. There's really no building intact in Vuhledar anymore. And yes, the Ukrainian army has held it for heroically for almost 2 years now and had to surrender because they were short on ammo. They ran out of ammo. They had some personnel. The personnel, the military that had been there for a long time. And so this is really tragic for a few reasons. Of course, immediately in the immediate perspective, it pretty much merges the two battlefronts. So we have the eastern battlefront, that's the sort of the Donetsk direction, and we also have the southern battlefront, which is closer to Zaporizhia. And so right now, with the falling of Vuhledar, we can pretty much see a united single front, which is the eastern and the southern. It really jeopardizes the Pokrovsk, the battles for Pokrovsk, and also puts Zaporizhia at a lot more risk. However, also there's the long-term effects. And I guess the most important one of them is when we keep asking ourselves the question, where and when will Putin stop? And if you remember back in 2014, we did ask ourselves the same question. Will he stop once he annexed Crimea? Would he stop when the Russian forces occupied Donetsk and Luhansk? And of course, now I think we are wise enough to know the answer, and that answer is no. So we do know that with each captured Ukrainian city, Russian army just moves inland, and I guess it is in the interests of Ukraine's allies to do everything that is in their powers to help Ukraine stop this incoming invasion, because otherwise it will not stop. And I guess one very significant thing in this context is to allow strikes within the Russian territory, because all these cruise missiles, they are being transported on military airplanes. And so Ukraine's ability to hit those legitimate military targets within the Russian territory will also strengthen Ukraine's defenses on the ground.
Well, Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, has been very visible on the world stage of late, requesting help and support from the international community. How successful has he been?
Well, he has been reasonably successful. However, the delays cost human lives and cost cities. And as we saw with Vuhledar, we don't know which next cities are going to fall. But I think we, as in the international community, may have grown a little complacent with knowing that Ukraine is able to successfully counteract the Russian occupation. And I just would like to remind everyone that this is a highly asymmetrical conflict. The Russian military is exponentially more equipped than the Ukrainian military to handle these offensives. And so unfortunately, this capturing of Vuhledar does somehow undermine Ukraine's further counteroffensive steps. Vuhledar could have been a key launching pad in launching a further deoccupation of places like Mariupol, which now is a little bit more remote.
And what's happening in Russia, Olga, and Ukraine's bid to push forward there?
The official line of the Russian military is that they are taking steps and taking measures in counteroffensive to try to liberate those territories. According to the latest information that I saw, Ukraine still is holding on to Kursk and to the regions that it occupied, but as well, just like in the east of Ukraine, this is going to be an extremely difficult fight to sustain over long periods of time. With that being said, what it really did is it significantly undermined Russia's image domestically and internationally as a country that is able to defend its national borders. There is no rule of war where war is being fought on just the territory of a single country only. If there's a war, perhaps it's always been the case that both territories of both countries would get attacked, and that's essentially what we're seeing. So this seemingly outrage on the part of the Russian population that, or the Russian leadership as well, to say that Ukraine has no business on the Russian territory. It's in fact, well, it's just there's no grounds to it, because really this Kursk counteroffensive or Kursk offensive was helpful in disrupting the Russian military supply chains, and that did help, well, detain or disperse the Russian military, perhaps withdraw a little bit of the military forces from the eastern offensive to the north of Ukraine, and that was a significant step in that direction.
Is there a feeling, Olga, that the Ukraine-Russia conflict has been forgotten in the face of escalating tensions in the Middle East?
Well, unfortunately, there are so many geopolitical tensions and conflicts these days. And of course, it is really, I guess, yes, it is really difficult to keep the attention on all of them. But yes, this is just a reminder that there's a lot of heavy fighting happening in Ukraine, ongoing, as well as constant shelling from the air. Every night there are cruise missiles, there's ballistic missiles, there are drones that are attacking objects, both military and civilian objects in Ukraine. And so it is every morning we wake up and we catch up and we look at the news and we learn of new towns and cities that are being shelled, new civilian deaths. And unfortunately, that is a harrowing constant that continues, even though if we might not necessarily always see it on the news.
Olga, thank you for updating us.
Thank you.